For those who are completely new to snow sports, I know that there's one thing that you guys are going to be asking for mainly, and that would be on what clothes to wear when doing the activities like snowboarding or skiing. And based on my experiences, I feel like I can share with you guys some tips in order to help you guys out when you are trying to see if skiing or snowboarding is a sport for you. So here are the useful tips that I would like to impart, and I hope that it would help you guys out. First thing you guys need to have are the base layers. So you'll need one for your top and then one for your bottoms. These are readily available in a lot of places. If you shop at Costco, they are usually available by autumn. They'll be on sale already, and these come fairly cheap. So for the first set of clothing, yeah, these should be it. Next up would be your snow pants. So the only thing with snow pants is that just have to make sure that the snow pants come with these things that line up in the inside. These are, I think these are called boot gaiters. So what they do, they really play an important part to make sure that snow or water doesn't come into your boots. So yeah, this is a really important aspect that you need to consider when purchasing your ski pants or snow pants. Next important clothing is going to be the jackets. So jackets, I've learned so far, there are a couple of variations of jackets that you can use. Here we have my first type of jacket, which are just shells. So with shells, they are just basically just like a windbreaker of some sort, and they just protect you from the elements, from snow, water, wind. So they're really good at it. They're thin because all they are just, a layer of protection. And then second jacket type that I have seen so far are those come with integrated insulation. So it's like the shell and then an insulation that's built in within the jacket. What they are really, they're just like a 2-in-1. So it already comes with insulation. And then for the third variation that I have come across so far are those that are a shell with insulation. But the great thing about them are these insulation, you can remove them. So for example, this one has an insulation as part of the jacket, but at the same time you can remove them. So the insulation comes off, you have the shell, and then you have the insulation. So this is actually great if, towards the end of the day or midday when the sun is up and you need to shed off layers because you're getting, warm or it's too hot for you, then, that's one thing that is an advantage with this kind of jacket. But in terms of jackets, I think the most flexible is the shell jacket, because with just a shell you can basically mix and match your layers. So you could have a insulation, separate insulation that doesn't need to be integrated within the jacket. So one of the things that I usually have are, I usually have a fleece. I'll have the an insulation aside from the one that's provided, but also I have a vest insulation. I do have a jacket insulation, and then a fleece. So depending on what the conditions are for the day, I would mix and match and try out which ones are comfortable for me during the situation. So I usually carry them around. Oh, and also I do have technical shirts as well as part of my layers. So yeah, those are the layers that I usually use in combination with jackets. You'll have your technical shirts, you'll have your fleece, you'll have your regular insulation, and then a insulated vest. So many options. For beginners, I would suggest that if you can get a purchase for cheap for the 2-in-1s, they should be fine. And then from there you can just try to layer stuff in. So the way I layer is gonna be first my base layer, and then my technical shirt that should give me enough moisture wicking when I sweat, and then it's gonna be my fleece. At this point, you know, that should be enough for me in any normal circumstance, but if it's still too cold, I'll put in my vest, and then another last resort would be my insulated jacket. So I know that there's a lot of options if you are trying to layer with your jacket, but I feel like if you are just starting out as a beginner or you haven't tried any snow sports, that the only important thing is the jacket itself. So purchase a jacket. Usually the ones that have insulation inside that comes with a jacket are the cheaper ones, so I'd go with that. And then from there, that should already be more than enough for, you know, just your regular day out on the slopes. Although if you are going to dedicate yourself into snow sports, then I would highly suggest you get an actual jacket that's specific to skiing or snowboarding, because they usually come with features that are not in a regular winter jacket. Like for example, you have a adjustable hoodie, and these are mainly to make sure that when you have your ski helmet on, that they fit properly if you need to use the hoodie. And then usually ski jackets would come with a lot of compartments or pockets that you can use for storage. One thing that I find very useful are jackets that have compartments for, like, you know, your season pass, so that it's easy for you to scan on the slopes, on the lift rides. And then there are vents For example, this one comes with a vents on the side. Let me wear this one so that you could see. So there are vents that you can open when you are, getting warm, and then you need to let some of that warmth out so that you don't overheat. Also, if you see here, this jacket also comes with a hand gaiter. These are really useful to keep away snow, ice, water from getting into your layers inside your jacket. So these are really useful. So also one thing that regular jackets do not have are these Velcro straps found on the cuffs. They are there to adjust the diameter of your cuffs. So if you want the largest diameter, and you could put in your gloves through the jacket, or if you want to have a smaller diameter so that you could put the gloves over your jacket cuffs. So yeah, there are a lot of features that a regular winter jacket doesn't have versus a ski or snowboard jacket, and that's what I would suggest if you are going to get into the sport and have a jacket for its purpose. Alright, so aside from clothing, I think the most important accessory for clothing that you also need to have are your gloves, and they protect your hands from frostbite for the most part. And yeah, if you take a look at my cuffs, this is what I was talking about in terms of adjustable cuffs. You can have the gloves inside, or if you have gloves that have a wider diameter usually, and you'd like to have the jacket inside your gloves, then you can do so with the adjustable cuffs. It's just a harder thing for me to do with the type of gloves that I have right now, but you can do so as well for that. Yeah, gloves are really important so that you don't get frostbites. So for the next accessory, it would be socks. So for socks, you need to make sure that you have socks that are moisture wicking, doesn't absorb moisture or your sweat. That's why you'd hear a lot from folks that do ski and snowboard that they go with merino wool fabric because they don't absorb your sweat. Also, regarding socks, thicker does not always mean warmer. Actually, it is the opposite. It is better to have thinner socks because it does not add constriction to your legs' blood vessels. Remember, the boot will fit very snug. So the more blood circulation you have on your feet, the warmer your toes will get. On colder days though, I do suggest putting disposable toe warmers. And one thing I'd like to point out as well are the length of the socks. Ideally, you'd like a pair of socks that are mid-calf or above in length, basically as long as the socks are well above the top of your boots. So I'd like you guys to observe how I have my socks, my leg warmers are overlaid to avoid blisters around your leg. Where you get in contact with your boots, it is ideal that your socks and leg warmers don't overlap within your boots. And as your legs move around your boot, you'd want to only have one layer that is in between your skin and your boot. So there you have it. Oh, and remember the boot gaiters that I was talking about? So this is how it should look like, and that should be it. And for an additional piece of clothing accessory that would come very useful are the balaclavas or your neck gaiters. So what they do is protect your face from wind chill and from the wind. Really helpful during those really cold days. So what there are certain features, like you could get it all the way up to your nose so that it protects your nose as well. Gets too hot, you can just put it below your neck, or also if you are too hot for this one as well and you just want to use it as a neck gaiter, you could also drop this one down and it will just like function like a regular neck gaiter. So yeah, another piece of important clothing accessory if you are on the slopes and it's a really cold day. So there you have it, guys, my personal tips for you who are in need of options on what clothing to prepare for your very first ski day. So yeah, hope that this helps you out, and I'll see you on the slopes.